Thompson, and today I'm interviewing Trent Jeffcoat. He is a country singer and songwriter. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to go to Facebook questions.
That sounds great, Josie. I'm looking forward to it.
What was your inspiration to start singing?
You know, when I was a baby, my mom always sang to me, and just from an early age, I would, I'd start cooing along with her, and it just always put me at peace.
When did you start writing your own music?
I wrote my first song when I was 8 years old. Wrote a song for my grandma called "She Bosses Me Around This Little Town," because my grandma kind of bossed my granddad around a little bit. So.
Do you have a favorite type of guitar?
You know, it's funny. I don't actually play guitar, but my favorite kind of guitar is probably a Martin.
Oh. Who inspires you to keep on writing and singing?
My son Walker. Just the fact that I want him to know that dreams are worth chasing, and one day when he has dreams, that he needs to follow them.
Me and Walker are really close too.
You and Walker are really close.
Did you sing in your high school choir?
I did. I sang. I sang for about 2 years, 9th and 10th grade, and then I quit because they wanted me to use proper enunciation and all that kind of stuff. And the way I sing is the way I sing.
You gotta be yourself.
You're right. You always got to be yourself.
Were you ever in Boy Scouts?
I was in Boy Scouts for about a year.
Which part was it? Like Cub Scouts?
It was Cub Scouts.
When was the first time you sang in front of a crowd?
The first time I sang in front of a crowd, I was probably 5 years old, and I was at a family reunion at my Aunt Sarah and Uncle James' house, and had probably about 20 people there, and I sang a Crystal Gayle song called "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue."
Now let's move on to the Facebook questions.
Okay.
Skip asked, Keith Whitley or Vern Goodson?
Ooh, Keith Whitley or Vern Gosdin. Ooh, that's a tough one. Whew. That is a tough one. They're two of my favorites. I'm going to have to go with Keith.
Looks like Skip did a good one.
Skip did.
David asked, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Sometimes it's really tough. I mean, there's a lot of very talented people in Nashville chasing the same carrot, and
just gotta keep on fighting.
You just gotta keep on fighting. You're right. You gotta be like Rocky, and ultimately, like I said earlier, my 10-year-old son, he keeps me going because I realize as a father I have to provide for him, but at the same time, there's just something inside that if I'm not singing or writing songs, there's an inner turmoil that just can't be satisfied by anything except that.
Cindy asks, Keith, Garth, or George?
Keith, Garth, or George? Once again, I'm going to have to go with Keith. He's probably my all-time favorite. Now, wait a minute. If he's talking about Keith Whitley.
He just says Keith, Garth, or George, but I think she's talking about Keith Whitley.
Well, if he's talking about Keith Whitley, then definitely Keith Whitley. If he's talking about Keith Urban, then it would have to be George Strait.
We'll just do both.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Anna asks, if you could save only one country song for the duration of all time, which one would it be?
Woo! Anna got a good one, didn't she? I'm going to have to go with a very old classic favorite. It's George Jones, and it's He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Now, Lori asks, when did you write your first song, and what was it?
Well, the song for my grandma. And the funny thing about it, I'll expand on that a little bit. I wrote it at daycare. I used to go to a daycare after school until my mom got off work, came to pick me up. So a lot of times I would sit around and just sit around with crayons and construction paper and just come up with rhymes. You know, so I'd have a whole thing of cat, you know, and I'd just rhyme stuff. And then one day it was my, you know, like I said, it was my grandma's birthday was coming up, and she was really close to me. So I wanted to do something special for her, and all of a sudden I just wrote this song, and it was really silly, and it was just like how she bosses my granddad around this little town they live in, and it was from my granddad's point of view, and it was like, you know, one of the lines in it was really, really silly, but I loved it at the time. It was like when I see some of the guys, they throw chocolate pies, you know, just stuff like that. It's real silly.
Now, Teresa asked, what age did you start singing, playing the guitar, and writing songs? What or who was your inspiration?
I'm gonna say, my mom was a big part of my inspiration. You know, some of the church choirs that I was never really involved in until I got later on in life. I joined a praise band at a church in Lexington, South Carolina, when I was about 20-something. But early on, it had to be my mom. My mom has a beautiful voice. She never sings out in public very often. But also I had an aunt that played piano great. And then when Randy Travis came along, I was about 13. And Randy Travis, Keith Whitley, that whole crowd just really did it for me. Really let me know what I wanted to do with life.
Now, Robin asks, how tall are you?
I am 6'2".
Wow. William asks, who do you most often get compared to musically and vocally?
Sometimes I get compared to Trace Atkins because of, you know, I have a baritone voice. Sometimes I have been compared to Garth before. Just depends on the type of song I'm singing, really. But most of all, you know, I always say that my music is I classify it as traditional country with an edge.
Now I have one final question for you that I have to ask. What is your favorite song that you have written and recorded?
That's easy. My favorite song I've written and recorded is called A Seed. And it is, I wrote it with Paul Sykes and Tanya Lynette Stout. 3 of us wrote it one day. And it was really, really an inspired song. It kind of wrote itself. And it's about, it's the folks like you that want to do things in life. And it's just, it's telling you that, you know, the chorus says, don't tell me that you're too small to do amazing things. I was just a seed. And it's a song from the perspective of a tree.
I've heard this song a couple times. It's like, it's a big tree, but it shows everything that it can do. Like, the Babe Ruth bat and the cross around your neck and the porch swing. That is very good for your. That is a very good song. It's one of my favorites too.
Well, thank you, Josie. Well, you're one of my favorite little girls.
Well, I think that is our interview.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.